My name is Barb Collura, and I'm the President and CEO of Resolve, the National Infertility Association. Resolve is a nonprofit organization that improves the lives of men and women living with infertility here in the United States. I'd like to just point out one of our board members who is here today, Dr. Alice Domar, and we have a number of other board members here as well as staff. But today, this press conference is to talk about the Family Act and the importance of this piece of legislation and how it can impact literally thousands of people in this country who are diagnosed with the disease of infertility or dealing with other issues that may impact their fertility. We have an excellent group of individuals who will be speaking to you today about their own experience professionally and personally with infertility and the challenges in accessing care in this country. First, I want to set the stage. Infertility affects 1 in 8 couples of reproductive age. It does not discriminate based on your race, your economic status, or where you live. It impacts people all over the world. The Family Act is a bill that's been introduced in the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives, and this bill is a tax credit that does 2 things. For people who are diagnosed with infertility and for that small portion of people who need in vitro fertilization to build a family, this will provide a tax credit for their out-of-pocket costs for in vitro fertilization. There are some important components of the bill that help keep the costs down for the federal government, and I just want to point out a couple of those. This bill is also modeled after an existing piece of law, which is the adoption tax credit. The adoption tax credit has helped thousands of families across the country since 1997, and from Resolve's perspective, the adoption tax credit has helped many, many, many of our constituents build their families. And we know how important it has been, and in looking at an opportunity to help people who need medical treatment to build their family, we looked at the adoption tax credit. So many of the income caps and other considerations in the Family Act are exactly what's in the adoption tax credit. The adoption tax credit allows for a lifetime tax credit of $13,360. An important component of that is there's a cost sharing. The individual, the patient, can claim up to 50% of their out-of-pocket costs up to that $13,360. It's a lifetime cap. Like the adoption tax credit, the Family Act also has an income ceiling. So the bill starts phasing out if the combined household income is $180,000, and it completely goes away for people making over $220,000. The point of that is this is for middle-income families. When Resolve has surveyed our constituents, 80% have a combined household income of under $150,000. So we know that this piece of legislation will help a huge number of people that we serve. We have some very distinguished guests here today, so I'm going to move right along and introduce them and have them come up. I'm going to introduce each one separately, and each one is going to say a few remarks, and then we'll have a time for any questions at the end.